A new armed militia has emerged inside Gaza, calling itself Popular Defense Forces and Khalil al-Wazir Brigades. According to their own messaging, they appear connected to the Abu Shabaab militia in Rafah, now linked to Ghassan al-Dahini. Their branding and footage strongly suggest Fatah-linked militants, including Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade-style imagery and headbands. They even adopt the name Khalil al-Wazir, referencing Abu Jihad, a senior PLO figure tied to major terror attacks and early Intifada organizing. In a condolence statement to Abu Shabaab's militia, they declared, "Our highest wish is death for Allah," language that mirrors Hamas, PIJ, and Fatah factions. One key question remains: is this yet another Israel-backed local militia receiving equipment and support, or an opportunistic rebrand under pressure? Either way, the pattern is clear. The cooperating militias tend to come either from the Fatah PA orbit or from extreme Salafi networks inside Gaza. A senior Western diplomat told Lebanon's Al-Jamhuriya that the newly restructured Ceasefire Oversight Committee could deliver real positive outcomes. He said Lebanon should prioritize reaching an arrangement or understanding with Israel, arguing it would end Lebanon's wartime reality and bring lasting stability for both sides. He also stressed that Lebanon's partners support full sovereignty and that no part of Lebanese territory should be taken, not in the south and not anywhere. A senior Lebanese source laid out what they call the Lebanese principles for any security understanding. 1. A full end to hostilities. 2. An end to Israeli strikes. 3. Israeli withdrawal from points taken in southern Lebanon, back behind the blue line. 4. Release of Lebanese prisoners. 5. Full commitment to UN Resolution 1701. But that same source accused Israel of aiming to blow up 1701, create a new border reality, and establish a buffer zone that keeps Lebanon trapped in war conditions. They claim Lebanon has proven it does not want war, and has remained committed to the ceasefire even while strikes and assassinations continued. The Lebanese source warned that ending UNIFIL's mandate by the end of 2026 is a strategic mistake. Their message was blunt. If solutions are not reached before that deadline, the border zone could be left without UNIFIL, and nobody can predict what comes next. They also argued that the ceasefire framework applies only to the area south of the Litani and not to the north. Hamas spokesman Hazem Qasim said Gaza is still under extermination conditions, claiming that while airstrikes decreased, deaths continue through flooding, extreme cold, and children dying under siege conditions. He called on mediators and the signatories of the Sharm el-Sheikh framework to move immediately, deliver real shelters such as mobile homes and caravans, and begin reconstruction without delay. Saudi outlet Asharq al-Awsat reported Hamas sources saying the group does not reject the candidacy of Nikolai Mladenov to lead a proposed peace council within the Trump plan framework. Hamas insists it will not accept any protectorate rule. In their view, the body should only supervise ceasefire implementation and oversee reconstruction, nothing more. The same sources said Hamas would work with Mladenov if there is broader consensus, and signaled interest in another round of indirect negotiations, likely in Egypt or Qatar. Poland announced it arrested a university student in Lublin, accused of planning an ISIS-inspired bombing at a Christmas market. Israel's head of the C4I and Cyber Defense Directorate said that over the past 2 years, enemy attempts to damage or shut down national systems were blocked dozens of times. That statement came after a joint exercise with U.S. Cyber Command. Israel's Knesset approved a law to halt UNRWA activity inside Israel. IDF spokesman. Brigade 7 forces operating in southern Gaza identified a militant who crossed the yellow line and approached troops while carrying a suspicious object, creating an immediate threat. He was eliminated to remove the danger. The IDF added that the day before, another militant who crossed the yellow line and approached forces was also eliminated. For the first time in 3 months since a deadly attack involving an aid truck driver, Reports say dozens of trucks are now moving from the Allenby crossing toward Gaza. Critics argue the decision came despite unresolved national grief and ongoing hostage issues and say the timing is unacceptable. IDF spokesman. Israel struck a Hezbollah operative in the Taibeh area in southern Lebanon. Reports say Israel's security establishment reached understandings with an American mechanism in Kiryat Gat on dividing Rafah into sectors where engineering work will begin to clear the terrain from terror threats. IDF spokesman. During continued activity in the Nur Shams camp in northern Samaria, the Central Command Chief ordered demolition of several structures due to what was described as a clear and essential operational need. The IDF says these camps remain central hubs for terror activity inside dense civilian areas, and that forces continue to find ammunition, weapons, and explosives used by terror networks. Residents were reportedly notified in advance and allowed to evacuate belongings, with demolition narrowed to the minimum required after alternatives were weighed. Israel Police. Border Police Tactical Brigade forces ran a large nationwide operation against organized crime. More than 200 personnel hit around 35 targets, detained suspects, located illegal residents, seized weapons including a Glock and a Carlo-style improvised firearm, large quantities of ammunition, suspected narcotics, and roughly 700,000 shekels in cash. Authorities also removed dozens of illegal surveillance cameras used to monitor the area. Senior Hamas figure Ghazi Hamad said Israel has no right to keep striking resistance fighters, even during a ceasefire, and accused Israel of inventing pretexts to justify aggression. He claimed Israel targets civilians outside the yellow line and is turning controlled areas into empty zones by demolishing homes and preventing residents from returning. Houthi leader Abdulmalik al-Houthi claimed Israel continues attacks in Lebanon, harms Syria, and plots against the region, including Yemen. He said Yemen remains ready for what he framed as the next round of confrontation and called for continued mobilization. A new Israeli security discussion reportedly focused on Iran's renewed role in rearming Hezbollah and transferring money that helps rebuild manpower. Officials reportedly cite more than 1,800 ceasefire violations by Hezbollah since the agreement, as Israel prepares for the Prime Minister's trip to the United States and meetings with President Trump. The OTEF Israel Forum warned that the United States is preparing ground steps for Phase 2, even though Hamas has not been dismantled, and despite Israeli objections. They claim the U.S. is setting facts on the ground through a reconstruction mechanism that could begin rebuilding in areas declared clean of Hamas. Their warning: any reconstruction steps before Hamas is removed are a direct danger to communities near Gaza and to Israel as a whole. Channel 14 reported that a previously unnamed Elbit megadeal is allegedly tied to the United Arab Emirates, according to Intelligence Online. The report claims a joint R&D project worth about $2.3 billion over 8 to 10 years to develop a soft-kill, shoulder-fired missile defense system for civilian and transport aircraft. If accurate, it would mark a major milestone in defense industrial cooperation with a Gulf state. IDF spokesman. A soldier was critically wounded by gunfire at a base in northern Israel and later died from his injuries. An investigation by military police has begun and will be reviewed by the Military Advocate General's office. Separate reporting also claims another soldier died by suspected suicide at a post in northern Samaria, with the case under investigation. From Gaza's shifting militia map to Lebanon's ticking 2026 deadline to the cyber and security fronts, the region is moving fast and the stakes are rising. This is Shield of Truth. Stay tuned, stay informed, and subscribe for real updates, not propaganda.